Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, my name's Vicky Marie. I'm based in mainland Spain. It is 11:07 in the morning. I'm just laughing because it feels like it's much later than that. I've been up since 6 o'clock, so it just feels like I can't believe it's only 7 minutes past 11. It's very wet, miserable, rainy here, as it has been for 3 weeks. So don't ever think that it's always sunny in Spain. It isn't. It's freezing. My hands are frozen. In fact, I might need to put my gloves on. My hands are cold. It's wet. It's raining outside. Again, when is the rain going to stop? But anyway, not worse problems in the world, aren't they? I'm sorry I was a little bit late starting. I was trolling Andrew Tate, who I've just... Anyway, that's a whole nother subject that I'll be talking about very soon. Toxic masculinity, incels, misogyny, everything that Andrew Tate personifies, I'll be talking about. And unfortunately, the way of the world at the moment feels like it's going that way. Anyway, it feels to me at the moment people don't care about women, or the society doesn't care about women, doesn't care about children. I've done a live this morning about the Hackmans over in America, and that's a whole nother thing that's going on, that mysterious case. Last night I did a live about the child lover Richard Burrow, who enjoyed a life of 27 years in Thailand in paradise before he finally decided to bring himself to account. Just think, where is the value in our society? What is valued? Anyway, what I'm going to talk about in this video is Kyran Durnin. We've talked about this case before. This is this little boy. Let's have a look at him. I mean, look at him. Bless him, in his pajamas, holding his teddy. This little boy, there is no proof of life on this little boy for years. And it seems like the sort of impression we're getting from everything, the police investigations, is that it was pretended that he was still alive, that some sort of decoy child was used to prove existence of life for this little one. Another boy, a similar looking boy, was taken along to social services meetings and things. This is a terrible, terrible case. Now, that's his mum there in that photo. Does she know more? Seems like you'd think the mum would know more, isn't it? But this case, the police, the Gardaí, the police in Ireland, they're looking for him. They're trying their best to find his body, what they think will be his body. They're convinced that he is dead. He was murdered several years ago, and a decoy was used to present to social services to try and say that he was still alive. That is generally, but the problem now is they have done these searches. They have tried to find Kyran, and there's no sign of him so far. And one of the suspects in the decoy, not necessarily that this person was suspected of actually murdering Kyran, but one of the people that was supposed to be involved in the whole decoy plot has taken his own life. So he can't, after being questioned, etc., he has removed himself from this earth. Now, he'll be getting his judgment in the next life, let's all hope. But in this life, he's gone. And so, his evidence is gone as well, or his testimony is gone as well. So what happened? What happened to Kyran? When did it happen? Who decided to use another child as a decoy? Does the mother know more? She says she doesn't. Well, she's not going to say she does, is she? Maybe she doesn't, but it's unlikely, isn't it? When will the truth come out for this little boy, the justice for Kyran, and not only him, for his other family, his family who does care about him? Where is he? And if he is deceased, which it seems likely, the Gardaí are more or less convinced that he is, where is his little body? He needs to be brought from wherever it is and laid to rest properly. Bless him. So this is a sad case. So just to warn you, there's nothing graphic in this video that I'm going to do, or, but it is, of course, sad and triggering. Whenever a child is involved, it's always very sad. And, as you know, I don't like to cover child cases, but I started covering Kyran's case quite a while ago, and I will follow it through to the end. I will always do updates on Kyran for as long as there are any. And this boy just needs to be brought home, buried in peace and dignity. Whoever is responsible for it, whoever it is, be it his mother, be it his whoever, needs to be held to account, don't they? Okay, so first of all, let me just say thank you to everyone. I didn't put my banner on. I need to just put it on briefly. Thank you for watching, for liking, subscribing. Thank you for those of you who've bought me Ko-fis recently or PayPal me. It's so much appreciated. You can't even know how much it's appreciated. Thank you to everyone who's a member. Thank you to all of you that send me emails, etc. I've not been very good with my emails just lately, but I'm going to get back on it. So thank you for everything. Okay, now I'm going to say hello to the people that are in the chat. And as always, though, hello to you lurkers there who are watching from home. Not everyone wants to join the chat. Hello to everyone who's watching on replay. Thank you for watching. Okay, let's have a look who's chatting. Oh, hi, Annie. Hi, Michelle. I know that picture of him with his teddy. It's just heartbreaking, isn't it? Hi, Yvonne. Oh, you're going out a lot lately, Yvonne. I hope you're going somewhere nice. Hope you're going somewhere nice. Hope you're going to have a good time. Anyway, that's another thing that I'm going to talk about in another video. We have to seize every moment, don't we? It's difficult sometimes. You get stuck in a rut, or maybe for various reasons. Maybe because of health reasons, maybe because of mental health reasons, maybe because of financial reasons. And I think all of us, especially over COVID, we don't go out as much as we used to. But you need to go out sometimes, even if it's just to make you appreciate being at home. So I just want to talk about the candle. I lit this candle earlier when I was talking about the Hackmans. And of course it's for Kyran as well. But it's for all of us, isn't it? We all need a candle lighting for us. We all need prayers. We've all got problems. Some people's problems are worse than others. But you know what? Everyone's problem to them is important. Be it, mental health, physical health, financial, depression, whatever your relationship problems with children, problems with teenagers, problems with your neighbours, whatever your problems are, they're important to you. So remember to look after you, because then don't let these stresses build up. But anyway, let's talk about Kyran now. So the main thing is Kyran is probably with the angels. I hope to God he is with the angels. Not because I want him to be deceased. I hope he's not deceased, but the Gardaí, the Irish police, they have said they're convinced that he is deceased. And for Kyran, just to me now, I feel, oh gosh, I get this sort of feeling. He's calling out to be found. He needs to be found, laid to rest properly, whatever way his relatives decide to do it. We all know how important that is. And I was very impressed by, I think it was somebody that I saw on some crime video, some law enforcement person saying it's just as important to bring home the remains of someone as it is to bring home a living person. It's better if they're brought home living, of course, but if they can't be brought home living, at least their remains can be brought home. You cannot underestimate the importance of that. Every single society in the world, be it, what we would call like a Western society or whatever civilization, whatever culture, they all respect, there's a rite of passage when someone dies. There's an importance when that's what sets us apart from uncivilized cultures, if you like. We want to lay our loved ones to rest, and it's important, just as important uh, as bringing home a living person is bringing home someone's remains, because it gives some sort of resolution to what families are going through, wondering what's happened to their loved one. So let's have a look what the Gardaí, well, we're going to have a look at the Daily Mirror first of all, an article in the Daily Mirror talking about this. Now I wanted to, because it's, oh, no, the wrong one there. It's been a little while, hasn't it, since does that come on sometimes? Sorry, turn the volume up. There you go. Yeah, why do we started looking at this case quite a while ago. I try and keep up with any case that I start covering as much as I can, to let people know what's happened. Obviously, some cases, what's the word that I'm looking for? Some cases resonate with some people more than others. Obviously, if you were in Ireland, this case would resonate probably more than an English case or a Spanish case or an American or Australian case. So, I know where my followers are. I have a lot of Irish followers, I have a lot of American followers, Australian, British, of course. And, so I try and cover cases from all areas that people, I think my followers will be interested in. But then once I start with a case, I follow it through to the end. Now, I haven't said much about Kyran's case lately because, to be perfectly honest, there hasn't been much to say that's any different, just that the police are searching different areas for him. But they have searched now 2 places where the family lived. And the police are now saying, the Gardaí, the Irish police are saying that there is only a slim chance. Now, are they saying this on purpose to try and flush someone out? A slim chance of prosecuting anyone for Kyran Durnin murder. So, senior officers believe it will be difficult to charge anyone for the heinous crime unless someone breaks their silence and tells them where he is, because they need Kyran's body. I mean, they can prosecute without a body, can't they? They can. This is something that these days, if they found, oh, hang on, I've pressed the wrong button. Hang on. What did I do then? Always pressing the wrong button. Do you know, that story of my life? So I put that on my gravestone. Vicky Marie chat, she forgot to share and she pressed the wrong button. That's definitely what they'll put on my gravestone. Among other things, of course. Right. Now I was going to do that, then I've forgotten what I was going to do. So yeah, slim chance of prosecuting anyone. Now you can prosecute without a body, of course you can, if you've got enough DNA evidence, if you've got witnesses, if you've got other things. So the body is not the most important thing, but at the end of the day, the body just makes it easier to go to whoever the Crown Prosecution Service is in Ireland and say, look, this is the case that they've got. So they have arrested people in Kyran's case, but they've always been released. And one of the people that was released took their own life, and we're going to look about that. But let's just see what this article says. And look at his little face. I mean, the thing is, this is a little boy. I think he was 5 when he went missing. He would be 6 now, but the police have given up thinking that he's still alive. So senior officers believe it will be difficult to charge anyone for the heinous crime unless someone breaks their silence, tells them where he is. So intensive searches of 3 different houses. So they've searched 3 different houses, 2 in Drogheda and 1 in Dundalk, County Louth. Sorry, I don't know Irish geography very well. So these searches they've done have failed to find the youngster, who is now missing for over 2.5 years. So it's been 2.5 years since this little boy is definitely thought to be alive, if you like. So he's last seen alive at school in June 2022 when he was 6 years old, and he hasn't been sighted anywhere else after that time. If he was still alive today, he would be 8, and detectives are satisfied. He was definitely murdered in the summer of that year. Look at him there with his teddy. You know, that is heartbreaking. Come on, if there's anyone out there who knows anything about this case, you tell me that you can look at that photo and not feel any remorse. And that person who took him, you know, deleted himself, who had been interviewed, how dare he do that? I'm really angry with him. You know, I'm so angry with him. So he's deleted himself rather than tell the fucking truth about what happened to this boy. How dare you do that? How dare you remove yourself as a witness? You know, if you decided to delete yourself, that's your choice. This little boy didn't have a choice. This little boy has been removed from this earthly world without any choice. With, you know, look at his little face. So he's smiling, but you can see in his face. All right, that's how I feel. He's smiling, but it's a tentative smile. That's an abused child right there. You can see it in his eyes. He's smiling because it probably said to him, smile, smile. And look, he's smiling, but, you know, his smile doesn't reach his eyes, bless him. So how dare that person delete themselves without telling the police what they know? You know, you deleted yourself, that's your choice. But you know what? You could have left some information behind, you know, as to what had happened to this little boy who never did any harm. You know, he was, even if it, God, I'm speechless. He did not do any damage to anyone. He's perfectly innocent. He did nothing. He did nothing to deserve the fate he's had. Nobody deserves to be murdered, in my personal opinion. You know, you've got to be pretty, you know, horrible to deserve to be murdered, whatever. But one, certainly, this boy did not deserve to be murdered. There he is in his little pajamas, his little teddy, and you can see in his eye, it's like, oh yeah, I'm smiling, but the smile doesn't reach his eyes, bless him. So a top Garda source said, we have our suspects and we know who was involved, but people are not talking. So it seems to me they know exactly what happened to Kyran, but what they haven't got is the evidence. They need the evidence to take it to court. And you know, this is why as well, I feel in today's day and age, when a case gets to court, whatever case it is, it's probably 95%, if not more, likely to be that person is guilty, whoever it is. And the simple reason for that is it's so difficult to take someone to court. You need to prove to the Crown Prosecution Service, as far as the UK is concerned. I'm not sure what the service is called in Ireland. In America, you have to go to a grand jury, don't you? You have to prove that you've got enough evidence to convict this person before you even go to court. So if somebody manages to get to court, in my opinion, they're probably, you know, likely to be guilty, because if they weren't guilty, they would never have got to court in the first place. That's just an opinion. People might disagree. As you know, let me know in comments. But as long as you don't attack me or attack any other of my chatters, you don't mention other YouTubers by name, you're welcome to give your opinions on my channel as long as you're not nasty. So there is a code of silence. Ooh, hang on. This is what the Garda are saying. There is a code of silence. Sorry, I've got to go back. And no one is prepared to own up to what happened. And without finding Kyran's body, it would be very hard to persuade the DPP, so that's obviously what it's called there, to let us charge anyone for murder or manslaughter and go to trial. In saying all that, we haven't given up hope, and maybe the public may yet come forward with a small, crucial bit of information that will lead us to the child's whereabouts. It's all very frustrating, but it's a complicated case and we are just staying patient. So far, one woman in her 20s, which was probably Kyran's mum, but I don't know that for certain, was arrested. And this man, Anthony Maguire, he was arrested and held for 24 hours in connection with the murder case. And here's little Kyran. How can they, I really do not understand why Anthony Maguire, did he take his own life or did somebody do something to him? Because why, if he took his own life, why did he just not say what he knew, leave a note, make a confession before he took his own life? Imagine taking your own life and still not saying what's happened to this little angel. You absolute twonk. Right, I need to put that in. What a twonk. What a twonk. So he's taken his own life. And even though he's taken his own life, he's still not said what really happened to Kyran. And it seems likely that he does know what happened to Kyran. Why is he taking his own life? Or did he take his own life as somebody got rid of him? I don't know. So his house in Drogheda was one of the properties searched that found nothing of any consequence. Now, the thing we have to remember as well about that, how many times did they search for Tia Sharp? How the police searched their house 3 times and didn't find her, I think, until they finally found her in the attic. Is Kyran in that property? Is somewhere. We know, and we say it often on this channel, people do not disappear into thin air. They are not beamed up onto Starship Enterprise. They don't disappear in a puff of smoke. People, children, adults, whoever it is, they do not disappear. They are somewhere. Kyran is somewhere. So he argued his innocence all the time during questioning and was adamant the case had nothing to do with him. It's understood he told Gardai the last thing he would ever do was hurt a child. He left a suicide note which made no reference to Kyran. Now, we have to take the devil's advocate, Rhodey. Maybe he did that because he thought everyone was going to blame him and he was innocent. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he didn't like being accused of killing Kyran or knowing something about it. Maybe that's why he took his own life. I don't buy that. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. If you're innocent, you just tell the police what you know, and it might be annoying because other people are going to blame you once you've been arrested. But if you are innocent, you would just stick to your story, in my opinion. But yeah, we've got to accept that might be. Is that the reason why he took his own life? I don't know. Anyway, the Garda source added, there are 2 murder investigations going on in the country where there is no body. Kyran and the missing woman in Navan, County Meath, Elizabeth Clark. The Meath case has been going on for 13 years. You really need a body to crack a murder investigation. Now, you don't need a body, but you do need DNA, of course, don't you? I don't know that case of Elizabeth Clark. That's, the trouble. There's case after case, isn't there? Just a handful of mourners turned out. Sorry, let's just have a look at this. Sorry, just a handful of mourners turned out at St. Oliver's Church in the Black Castle area of Navan for Susan Stanley. I don't know about this case. But, it needs looking at. All missing. The trouble is there's so many missing people. They all need looking at, don't they? And, there's just not enough time in the day sometimes to look at them. Okay, now there was another article I wanted to show you. Here we go. So this is what the Gardaí apparently think. They believe that the Kyran Durnin suspect who took his own life was key in a decoy child cover-up. So I think it's important to remember that what the Gardaí think happened to Kyran was that he was murdered and then somebody used another child, it's not clear who it is yet, used another child to pretend to be Kyran when it came to social services, etc. And, the social services in Ireland, they're under a lot of criticism for this because this may well be something that's happened. So the thing is, if that guy took his own life, and I think it's true what you're saying there, Yvonne. And I was going to say enjoy the dentist. That's not the right word, is it? Hope it all goes well at the dentist. Yeah, maybe it's a family member of his that he's trying to protect. Who is he trying to protect? Or maybe he didn't know anything. He's taken himself to another world now. So we don't know. We don't know what he thought. Let me just carry on reading this. So, Anthony Maguire, 36, was found dead in his home in Beechwood, Drogheda, County Louth, shortly before midday yesterday. This was in December. So this was the 18th of December. So it looks like he took his own life on the 17th of December. So he had been arrested and released without charge. What drove him to take his own life? Was it because he was scared of being put in the frame, or was it because he did know more? I just don't know. We don't know because he didn't say. So Anthony Maguire was found dead in his home in Beechwood, Drogheda, County Louth, shortly before midday yesterday, just days after he'd been arrested over the murder and released without charge. It can now be revealed that Gardaí had intelligence that led him to suspect that Maguire played a direct role in previously duping authorities into believing that missing Kyran was in fact alive. It's believed he played a role in the cover-up. So it's important to say, it was never believed necessarily that he had that he murdered Kyran, but that he was involved in the cover-up. Sources say Maguire was suspected of having facilitated in having a decoy child brought before authorities in Tulsa, the Child and Family Agency, earlier this year, in an attempt to fool them into believing he was Kyran. However, the attempt raised eyebrows with authorities, who eventually communicated concerns to Gardaí. Gardaí believed that Kyran by this stage was dead, and that he may have been murdered as many as 2 years ago when he was 6 years old. It's understood that Maguire was known to Kyran, but he had insisted to neighbours and friends he had nothing to do with his disappearance. He was also known to Gardaí and had a violent past, including for assaulting a woman, and he was arrested and quizzed by detectives last Thursday. This is in December, while a major search was underway at the back garden of his Drogheda home. Forensic officers, accompanied by a cadaver dog and a mini digger, intrusively searched Maguire's property for any signs that Kyran's body may have been there. This is Dublin Live. Our exclusive picture shows Maguire smoking a cigarette outside Drogheda Garda station after he was just released from custody. It was understood he stayed quiet during questioning and gave Garda no clues as to what happened to little Kyran. His arrest, I tell you what, whoever did whatever to Kyran, I hope Kyran haunts them every night when they go to sleep. I hope his little face is there in front of them as that. How are they conspiring? You know, whatever happened to him. So, you know, it's happened now. You can't take it back. We talk about this so often on this channel. You can't take back what's happened. Kyran's not coming back to life. But do the right thing. Save your mortal soul. Tell what happened. Let the police, the Gardaí, find Kyran, bring him home, give him a proper burial for the rest of his family that do care about him. You know, who knows, you know, whether his mum had anything to do with it, but there's grandparents, there's other people involved. Just do the right thing. So his arrest came just 24 hours after a woman known to Kyran, probably his mum, I think, had also been arrested and released without charge. You know, there's no getting away from it. If you're the mum, you know whether your son's alive or not, don't you? The woman who is denied, if you don't report them missing, he's never been reported missing. So his mum has never thought, oh God, what's happened to Kyran? You know, she'd know who a real child was, wouldn't she? But she's never reported him missing. So she was arrested, or this woman was arrested and released without charge. The woman who has denied any involvement in Kyran's disappearance, but let's not forget she's now gone to the UK. She's gone from Ireland, gone from where she lived before. She had previously implicated Maguire. So it sounds like she's implicating him. But why did he take his own life? Officers are now set to probe his final movements and dealings before he took his own life on Thursday. His violent past is also of concern to officers. It can now be revealed he received a 1.5-year suspended sentence back in 2020 for the violent assault of a woman in July 2017. He pled guilty and was spared jail and ultimately moved from an address in the Rosevale estate to the Beechwood estate in Drogheda. He was also previously in court for punching a teenage girl. I mean, he's a real nice guy, isn't he? You know, he's not much loss to the world, to be honest, now that he's taken it. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but, you know, at the end of the day, he's not much of a loss to the world. What did he, what sort of legacy has he left to the world? Not much. He was also previously in court for punching this teenage girl at Buttergate on April the 18th, 2009. In her evidence, she alleged Maguire punched her in the face, stated she had been with friends when a girl pulled her to the ground by her hair, and as she got up, Maguire punched her. At the age of 22, he was before the courts over criminal damage at Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital in Drogheda, where he became agitated and smashed a window after having a row with his girlfriend. So it's feared that Kyran had in fact been missing and dead for 2 years, but efforts to determine how and when he went missing are still continuing. Well, I hope that finally there will be a resolution to this case. Will it be found out? what happened to Kyran. I hope his little body's found wherever it is. It is somewhere. At the end of the day, it is somewhere. Hi, David. You know, Kyran is somewhere, isn't he? Bless him. And I hope one day he will be found. You know, it seems like it's not going to, you know, he's going to be found deceased. It's not going to be found alive. But just being found will be a result. Let's hope so. So we're praying for that. Please join me in prayers for that. That prayers that Kyran is found. If it is his mother or whoever's involved in this whole horrible case, that they are found accountable. So that guy is taking himself off somewhere where he can't be found accountable in earthly ways. Now, if he thought he was going to take himself away somewhere where he wouldn't get any judgment, I'm sure he's getting his judgment. In fact, where's my sorry. Yeah. You can be sure that that guy that took his own life just before Christmas, that's where he is now, burning, hopefully, you know, dealing with the consequences of what he's done. You know, he's a horrible man. Or he was a horrible man. Unless you believe that he did what he did because he, you know, he was upset about what he'd gone through. Sorry, I just can't. I just don't accept that, you know. I just don't accept it. Okay, so that's all I've got to tell you about him, about Kyran. That's really the updates that we've got, is that the police still haven't found him. The police are, I think, them saying, oh, that it's unlikely they'll come to a resolution without a body. I think there's a bit of psychology involved there. Hopefully someone, please God, will come forward, do the right thing, save their own immortal soul, and say what's happened to Kyran. Kyran can be recovered and given a peaceful, but you know, this is a child, for God's sake. They haven't done anything wrong. Anything. This poor little boy, let's have a closer look at him. Now, you tell me. You can look at that little boy with that teddy and just think, oh, well, you know, just leave him wherever he is, wherever he's buried, wherever they've put him. That poor little boy, he did not deserve any of it. Look at his little face. And you know what? If it is anything to do with his mother, and it's, you know, it's got to be in a way, hasn't it? You telling me that your son's you wouldn't know if the social services or the neighbours or even your family, if they hadn't seen him for a long time, might not know the difference between 1 4 5-year-old 6-year-old boy or another that looks similar. But your mother would know. She knows. She knows. And I think the Gardai are just biding their time. She knows what happened to her son, 100%. And you know what? It might have happened she may be scared for her own life. Maybe her partner was a domestic abuser. I don't know. I don't care really what circumstances were. The point is, she's got to tell the truth, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going. So please keep Kyran in your prayers. Hope that he is found. You know, his body is found, because it's not likely that he's not going to be found. That's 100% certain. And somebody faces the justice that they've got to face. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, please, to sorry, I'm just going to put my ticker on. Remember to subscribe. Remember to press notifications, because then you'll get updates on this case and any other that we're covering. And have a nice day, a nice afternoon, a nice evening, wherever you are in this crazy world. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you.